be able to build on our vision,
Yes.
which was really something that, I don't know, it felt so unreal to tell somebody who's not Filipino that I think we could build something that's gonna sell something purple, something that I grew up eating that I don't know if he's gonna like it or if she's gonna like it, but I think it could go somewhere. And this was prior to us learning about this big Filipino food movement. So our investors, our partners, they were just, okay, let's do it. So we put our money in, for us that don't have a lot of money, we take loans against our homes. And that's how we were able to fund building the Chino store. I think the biggest hardship that we've encountered more than building the brick and mortar was sustaining the business, human resource wise, just keeping the wheel going and innovating. That way people will keep coming. People have this misconception that because we have 3 brick and mortars that we're probably swimming in cash, but what they don't understand is whatever we made from the Chino store eventually went into the Pasadena store. Whatever went into the Pasadena store is now in this Artesia store, and it's just, it's recirculating. And we struggle on a daily basis. We have our low seasons, we have our peak seasons. But we swim. We swim to get by. You chug along to get by. You hope and you pray that people will come. And you bank on the initial thing that brought you here, which is for us to bring forth Filipino food. To have people feel like they're coming home. Like, you're hanging out, you're not being kicked out after your first drink. You're welcome to stay all day. Bring a blanket, it gets cold. That's just the atmosphere that we wanted to create. And I think with all the Cafe 86 stores, if you talk to our customers, that's the feeling that they have. When we first opened Chino, we had about a roster of 4 employees, plus James and myself, and we worked front of the house day in, day out, from opening to closing. And I think with us doing that, we were able to build this atmosphere of people will walk in, and I remember her drink. I remember how much clumps of sugar you like in your drink. And I remember that you like to mix your dairies. So I think that culture just transcended into our other stores, into here. We're still family owned and operated. For example, that's my sister-in-law, Manette, manning the register over there. So all of our stores, you'll see 1 or 2 of our family members, because at the end of the day, they're the ones you trust. They're the ones that will handle it the way you want it to be handled. And that's just how Filipino families work. So yeah, that's what Cafe 86 is. It's not without its hardships. There's a lot. Small businesses, meeting Anna Marie at a workshop allowed me to be able to have conversations with other small business owners. For example, Christina of Creme Caramel, Fountain Coffee. And it's not easy, and it's nice to have these conversations with these people. And I want to tell you guys not to sugarcoat it. If you guys ever want to go into something like this, it's hard, but there's a lot of good things that come out of it. So just keep going. Just know your vision, and just look straight, look forward, and pray. Yes.
All right. So the second question was, so you did go through a loan process?
Not through a bank.
Not through a bank?
No.
But so now with personal,
Yes.
do you experience any hardships with that, or payment schedules with some of your some of your personal?
We did not pull any loans. We were fortunate enough that we did not find that necessary. And with the first year of Cafe 86, that growth was just so big that we were able to sustain the company, and throughout there's always a slump, in the rediscovered in the retail industry, that why there's such a thing as a Taco Tuesday, or a Tuesday special, or a 2 for Tuesday, because Tuesday is the slowest business day of the week. It really is. So there's slumps, and we didn't pull any loans. So for us, I think the biggest problem that we have as far as monetarily will be like during the slow seasons, how do we sustain ourselves? How do we make sure that we're like these squirrels, keeping our acorns in the cave and making sure that we have enough for the long winter?
I see.
So, that's really the biggest problem that we encounter in our business, and, keeping up with payroll, making sure that, our main priority is also to keep our employees happy. Because unless our employees are happy, I don't think our customers, that's the husband. Unless our employees are working there and happy, I don't think our customers will be happy as well. So I guess customers always come first, but another thing is our employees always have to be happy and taken care of.
Yes.
So above all, we also want to be able to take care of them, and that's really the biggest hurdle, because no matter how busy or slow the store is, they need to get paid. Primarily, everyone needs to get paid. Maybe not us, but they definitely do. So that's our biggest problem, is to get these people paid.
All right, and the third one, earlier I spoke about community.
Yeah.
And before you even opened up your stores, how did you go about introducing your product or your service out to the community? And did you really concentrate and hone in with a Filipino American community? Or was it just a generalized?
That's a good question. When we first opened Cafe 86, our main goal was not really to become the bakery that it is today. We wanted to have coffee, tea, milkshakes all under one roof. Not with the initial plan of doing the Filipino thing, but putting things on the menu that we like to drink that we haven't seen anywhere else. So honing into the Filipino market was not the plan. That's why we were opening in Chino Hills and Pasadena and not West Covina, Carson, or Cerritos. So we really wanted to be able to explain and show and showcase the flavors that we've always grown up eating to other cultures. Like in Chino Hills, for example, there's a lot of Filipinos, but there's second, third generation Filipinos that really didn't grow up knowing what ube, calamansi, or pandan are. 80% of that market won't be Filipino in Chino Hills. 20% would be our second gens. So it was nice to be able to introduce it to that market, to have a lot of different cultures come in and have their ube fix once a week. Going next to Pasadena, we have a few Filipinos out there, but then that's very like metro LA area where there's just huge diversity in that area. So that one was like, oh, so we can really sustain ourselves in a non-Filipino area. And then came the opportunity to come here, like home. I must admit, it was really daunting to know that we were coming into the worst critics that a Filipino could have, a fellow Filipino. They will let you know when you're not doing something right. So it took us a while. In fact, prior to this, we opened up a restaurant, trying to make that we could, cook. Let's try cooking. But it was rough to bring something where you're serving somebody adobo. Somebody walks in here, sees adobo on the menu, and immediately their brain goes to the adobo that their mom makes, which nobody can beat. So that's just how Filipino brains work. And that's what the triggers that we work with. So we were afraid we're going to bring the ube cupcake here. But then it's something that's never been presented. It's not steamed rice cake. It's not puto or anything like that. So with them, they'll see ube, but it's presented in such a way that's probably never been presented to them before. So it's easy, like, oh, this is different. And true enough, this is my busiest store. The people here have, we've had a really good response from the local community. They're happy to have us here for the most part. We still can't please everybody. I think that's something that we just have to live with, that you can't always please everybody. We just have to stand true to what we believe in and what we want to do and what, our product is. And so far, it's been good out here.
And if I could sneak one more question, okay. What kind of advice would you give to the entrepreneurs, the small business owners that are out here moving forward? You have 3 years of really, just I think
Blood,
it's-
sweat, and tears.
Yeah. But what kind of advice would you give them? Because I think a lot of them might be at that stage where that they want to push forward and try to be sustainable.
I think the best advice that we could give, a lot of people have approached us and asked us, how do we do this, how do we start? I think for us, it all started with knowing exactly what you want to do. Having that business plan, knowing how much money that you're willing to spend, what you can afford. And even with a concrete business plan, you may have it on paper, 100 pages of your business plan, that thing evolves. And you have to be open to evolution and to, knowing what your market eventually is, entering a place, and then realizing that you have to make adjustments and making those adjustments that are necessary to, benefit the business. But have a good business plan, know how much you're willing to spend and how much you can afford.
Hey, that was some great info, right, guys? Are you going to do some questions?
Can I have a question? I have two questions.
It's,
Where did you derive the name Cafe 86?
Cafe 86 was named after my husband's car. A lot of Filipinos, my husband age, there's a following for a particular car called the AE86 Toyota Corolla that was built in 1986. The chassis was an AE86. So what brought him to open a cafe was the fact that he would go to every boba store in San Gabriel Valley on a Friday night. Him and his friends would pop open the 86 hoods and just stare at their cars. But it's hard to find them. Like, we can't track our husbands or boyfriends. So he says, I should just open a cafe where we can have my car meets. True enough, they have it every Friday in Chino. And then I can easily find him.
Last question.
Yes, sir.
As you know, we have several pastries restaurants here.
Yes.
Like Goldilocks, Lily, Cafe Republic, Louis and Son, your neighbor here.
Yeah.
So it didn't affect the sales? you have here?
It's very cutthroat,
Oh, yeah.
if I may say so. It's really cutthroat, but I think, like for me, I'm next to Louisa and Sons. The last thing I would do is for me to produce something that they already produce. It's just common, courtesy, decency. I admire them. I love their products. In fact, I'm in there buying ube hopia at least once a week. But you just have to be different. I think we're very different from what they serve. We're very different from Leland. Cafe Republic, they have their own products, and so you just have to make yourself distinct and kind of identify yourself to that one thing. I think we've created our brand well enough to be able to distinguish ourselves from everyone else. So just be different.
Good, thank you.
Alright. Couple more over there? Why don't we start with
The ladies first.
Yes.
Thank you for sharing the information.
Thank you.
I'm Lynn, by the way.
I
I was wondering if you mentioned you can't please everybody, which
Yeah.
is true in every case.
Yes.
I was just curious, is it, for this particular product, is it generational of the everybody?
Yes.
Depending on the location? So is it the older generation that's hard to please because they know what was in the Philippines
Yes.
versus what's here?
Yes, they're the hardest ones to please.
Correct, yeah.
Because they already have this grandfathered image of how ube should be portrayed.
Right.
And they, like the truffle, for example, our most Americanized ube product will be the truffle. Because it's wrapped in white chocolate and Oreos, which I don't think has ever been done anywhere else that way. But that's the one product that we're very proud of, because it's easy to show the other cultures that this is ube, and it doesn't have to be intimidating. It doesn't have to be scary. It could be a really delicious truffle ball wrapped in Oreos and still be Filipino. So, I can't please every Lola that will come in and ask. A lot of them will come in and, where's the kakanin? We'll point them to the direction of Louisa and Sons. So it's really hard to please everyone, but eventually they come back, they'll try it, and they'll realize that it's okay to present ube as a cheesecake.
Thank you.
My name is Anthony.
Hi, sir. I remember you.
I met you and I was impressed. Because the physical, the verbal, your presence. But my question is that I park at Target,
Yes,
and
sir.
a couple of persons that I asked, where's Cafe 86? Where's Cafe 86? Probably I talked to two people,
Mhm.
two people that I talked. Now, going back to my question, what makes you decide this is the right place? You know, there's some any competition.
It's really, I don't think any of our places where we chose them knowing that this is the place. It's always a gamble. There's always no guarantee that, for instance, this has no foot traffic. Our Chino store has 0 foot traffic. So we just really hope and pray that people will come and come and try our product and make their way out here. But there's really no guarantee when you choose a location.
Mhm.
I wish there was a guarantee. I wish it came with one. That way we can.
Some businesses started with you're the school, you're the hospital.
Yeah, well-
You know, that is a common core.
Yeah, well, what we hoped for this area was that we hope that our people will, the Filipinos, for example,
Yeah.
we hope that they will come and see us. We hope that they'll come and patronize us here. And true enough, they did. 90% of our customers here, Pinoy.
Wow.
Yeah, 90%. So it's a pretty good market. And had we known that, we would have opened our first.
Could that be in the works?
James, could that be?
I'm bad at the talk.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
I do hear, I was actually wondering, so, it's kind of like a follow-up to your response right now, which is, like as far as your marketing strategy,
Uh-huh.
is that different per location, and what are some, successful marketing strategies you've actually used?
Marketing strat. That's funny that you asked that. I don't think I've spent a single dime on marketing because ever since the beginning, I think the age of social media has brought us to where we are. It all started with one photo that got retweeted or reposted, and it just snowballed into what it is. And I think we found that it wasn't necessary for us to go the marketing route, like advertising here and there. I mean, they've approached us for sponsorships, and we're glad to oblige and help people out, but we have not spent any money on any advertisements at the moment. Maybe we should. I don't know, but we have not. So for now, social media is our marketing tool. It's the best marketing tool that we have yet to encounter because it's the only platform that I think this generation responds to. Even the older generation go on Facebook. You know, the Filipino generation, the older ones that I thought will not respond well to social media, actually now go on Twitter. They do that Aldab thing. There's a group, like my husband's mom is 7 years old and going on Twitter because of Aldab. So we know that they're out there. So once we get the pictures out, you know, it just snowballs.
Thank you. Anybody else have any questions?
Yeah. I have a follow-up question.
Yes, sir.
Sometimes as spouses,
Mhm.
you have to have a good relationship to run a business.
Uh-huh.
And that's very critical.
Yes.
Some spouses are not into that. You're into that.
Oh, yeah.
How do you make it work? How do you make it work?
We're very different. James, my husband, is the business person, and in the relationship, I'm the creative.
Oh, you're
So it's rough when you're trying to develop a recipe and he comes in with his opinions on how we can cut the cost or how we can make it better. When I, as a creative, have my vision on how I want the product to turn out. So we do butt heads. Sometimes we want to kill each other. But I was told that's part of it. But I think we just have to come to a compromise and a happy medium at the end of the day. Know that we need to come towards a resolution to something and not kill each other.
So repeat that again. You're the creator and you're.
I am the creative and he's the money. He's
He's
the
the
business,
business.
yeah. He's the one with the mind for the money. And for me, he relies on me to do the creative stuff, which is develop the new recipes, think of new ways how we can present ube. So that's the balance of our relationship. Is one is creative, one is the business person, and I think that's how we operate, and that's how we're able to kind of mesh harmoniously some days,
Yeah.
but it's not always harmonious.
You're lucky. You're very lucky. Very, very lucky.
All right, well, let's give Ginger and Ginger Thank you very much, Ginger,
Thank
for
you.
sharing your story. It looks like sometimes we, as business counselors, try to formulate some